Hello, back again on the journey. Just want to go through the back frill here. It's the same principle as the front, but I just want to do it so that you can see again how it's done. It's shorter, the distance, than it is at the front. So, but it's the same principle. So here we go. Once again, we start on a fresh sheet of paper, still using our draft because we need to use our draft to arrive at our pattern pieces. So once we've got that, we're going to mark around or trace off the neckline we've got marked on there, and we're going to go down the center back here on that line, just past a little bit past the waist, and then we're going to come around this line that we've marked curved for the frill. That's where the frill's going to go, but we must mark the shoulder section there, and we must remember whatever length we make it from the neck at the front, we've got to keep it the same length out along. So we extend this shoulder line here, just going to extend that line, and we measure it, whatever the measurement is, we've got to take it out the same on this line here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our draft away at the moment and put it one side, and we're going to mark this line here. We're not going to go down the center back because this is what we want, this line here, this important line. And when we've measured out where we want to go, we're going to take from nothing there, we're going to come around to meet that line that we have for the length of how long we want the frill to be over the shoulder. So once we've got that, what we're going to do is we're going to cut that shape out and divide it up into some sections where we can spread out. So we've got to do it evenly. So I'm going to do, I think about four lines or so. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spacing. So I'm just marking in we space them out, space it out like that. So we mark them on. So once we've done that, we're going to cut that shape out because we need to slash up on those lines and open it out exactly the same as we did the front. So we cut that shape out along there, that line, and this is the frill. So that is what we do. We cut out the shape, and there we go. We've got that piece all separated, and we now have to get a new sheet of paper, and then we've got to open out. We've got to have our sellotape or our pins because we need to open out and keep it secure. So once we've got that, we're going to cut up on that line. Don't cut it right the way through. We leave a piece hanging. We leave it hanging. We don't go right up. We just cut it like that. So once we've got that cut out, all we do is we're going to open that out. Open that round, and we're going to open it evenly out so that we've got an even space. Oh, that bit has come off. So I've gone a little bit too much. So we mustn't cut it off too much because it's got to hold on to there. So once we've got that open out, we've got to make sure the others are all even. So you can see that's a longer distance and this is a shorter distance. So it's basically not at the bottom. It should be about there, same distance down, and it should be the same in there as there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to secure that down at the moment on that end, just a little stick so it's holding there. and just make sure the others are evenly spaced out like that. So I'm getting a nice, it's beginning to curve around the shape. So once I get that, I'll just hold it down, stick it so that it doesn't move about. And as I move it around, check it with your tape measure to see that the spaces are evenly spaced out. So once that's evenly spaced out, you can secure it down with your tape like that. And then once you get that, you then mark around each bit that is opened out, and like that around the shape. So you've got it there, and you do the same thing here and along there and along there. And then once you've got that, you go inside. You'll see that these are all broken lines, so we need to get a good curve in there. So once we take that off with our curve, we then curve a nice line in there. We can take those pieces off, put them one side. Don't never throw them away until you've completed your pattern piece, because you might need to go back to them. So all we do is just come round with a nice curve. We're going to follow that round, a nice curve. Get a nice curve with our curve, or we just curve it around nicely. And we do the same thing here. We've got broken lines, so we need to just get a nice curve in there and follow that curve round. Get a nice curve so it's nice and curved. It's going on around in there, and we've got that. Come down. I'm just going to rub that out because we've got too many lines there, and I'll just do it up with a black marker so that you can see a bit more clearer. Extend this line down. We've got to remember that whatever the measurement on the front is, we've got to have the same measurement. So we have to check it with our tape measure to make sure that we get the right amount of shoulder length that we want on there. Okay, so I've just checked that. So I'm going to go right round with that and do that a nice round, get a nice round shape, because we don't want broken lines in there. And do the same thing here. I'm just going to get a nice round there. Just take off that first line there that I've got on. So I need a nice shape. And right round, go around with there, all the way around till we come back up to that point. So once we got those lines and they're nice and more curved, and we're happy with that curve that we got, all we have to do is to check this measurement here, circumference, that it fits on our back. This measurement here, it fits into here, because it's got to curve into this measurement, has to fit into here all the way around like that, like that, like that, like that, and fit it to there. And it gives us the flute once it's joined in there. And what we do is we put a balance mark there so that that one matches that one there. So we'll have a balance mark there, and then we just straighten up this line, and then we add our seam allowance around. And before we add our seam allowance around there and there, we've got to make sure they match up. So we get the back, the front that we did already, and we place it on there, and that should match on there. Okay, so what we do is now we finish our seam allowance around here. Make sure we've got a centimetre seam around there. Around there. and then round this edge here, the outer edge, centimetre all the way around. Once we've got our centimetres around, we then write on there, cut. We want one of those, and it has to be right side up, and this is the back. And we can write on there frill. So that is your back, finished back measurement pattern piece for the back, and it looks like that. So all we do now is cut that out. Once we cut that out, we can then mark our grain line on. I'll show you how we can, this is another way to get your grain line on. So I'll just show you this way. I'll show you the other way. We take it through when as we're drafting our pattern, we follow it through, but we can also apply the grain line from a different angle. So I'm just going to cut this out and show you how we do that. So once I've got that cut out here, go around here, follow this nice round shape here. So the key about this, the more you slash it, the more you open out, the more flute you get in this pattern piece. So what I normally do, I just fold that over, touching at that point there and that point. Fold it over, crease it, open out, and I use that crease as my grain line, and I'll just mark it on, and I can cut it two ways here, along there, grain line, and I can go across, make sure it's squared across there like that, and I use that line as well. Depends on how we lay it in our fabric. So that's the back, the frill for the back, and that's how it looks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay all these pieces out so that you can see them on how they laid out before they're cut, and you can see the how many pieces we need for this particular garment here that we have made the pattern for. So that is the pattern now complete, all ready to cut out and to make up. So I hope you'll be able to follow that through, and you will enjoy as we make the dress. Hopefully we will make one up, and so that you can see it in reality. So it looks like that, and we've done all the different parts that we need to complete that pattern. And this is the last piece that we did, the frill for the back. Have a good evening. Bye bye.